to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 237 and I'm back up in the craft cave. My knees are still hurting, but they've settled down enough that I can go up the stairs. And I needed to get some yarn to give to Kim tonight because if you remember my friend Kim, she and I used to get together when we were allowed to do that and knit on Thursday evenings at a coffee shop. Well, the coffee shop has opened back up, so we are getting together this evening. So when we do, I'm going to stick a little insert here of the two of us together and what she made. So after I show you what I'm working on this week, I'm going to show you what she's working on. So let's get started. I have two finished projects this week. If you remember last week, I showed you this hat. And this is what it looks like on, which is going to totally mess up my hair, but there we go. So I made a second one of these, and I put some color in it this time, so it looked a little more girly. And I wrote a pattern for this. This is called the Textured Hat. I know, it's not really creative. I'm not real good at coming up with names, so it's just called the Textured Hat. If you want to get a free, it is a free pattern. If you want to get a pattern for it, you can click the link down below in under patterns, my patterns, and it's there called the Textured Beanie. And you'll find other patterns that are free there, as well as some that are paid for. This particular stitch is called the 3D cluster stitch. Thank you once again, Sylvia Allen, for pointing me in the direction with this stitch. And I'm going to show you something interesting in just a minute when I get to my works in progress, because I'm using this same stitch for something else, but it's looking totally different, and I'll explain why. The other finished object I have is another hat. This one is knitted. It's basically stockinette with a couple rounds of pearls. This one, for some reason, is a little bit bigger, and I'm not sure why, because it's about the same stitches that I normally use. But this is what it looks like. So yes, it is a little bit bigger. Hopefully not too big for some child's head, but anyway, because it's a little loose on me. So yes, that is this hat. I'm not going to write a pattern for this because it's pretty much the pinwheel beanie hat with just a little bit of purling done to it. So there you can see it. So those are my two finished objects. Now let me show you what I am working on. I have, and of course I'm right in the middle of the row. Anyway, I am working on a knitted afghan and a crocheted afghan. So here is the knitted afghan. I'm going to hold this. I don't know if I can stand back far enough that you can see the whole thing or not. Maybe it's just better if I hold it out this way. So there it is. It's basically stripes right now, and then I will be chaining up through the top, which will give it a plaid look when I'm finished. So I'll give you an up close of it. There's the three colors together, which are the three colors that are in my living room. So that is one work in progress. Now the other work in progress is I started the afghan for my son and daughter-in-law, and theirs is gray and blue. So here it is. Now I'm going to see if I can get this to focus. There we go. So you can see this. Now here's the interesting thing. This is also the 3D cluster stitch. But what makes these two stitches look totally different, and I'm going to hold them up one after the other so you can see the two together and see how different they look. See if I can do it this way. They are both done with the same size hook, but they look totally different. There's a reason for that. This, because it is crocheted in the round, there's no wrong side to it. You're not going right side, wrong side, right side, wrong side. You're going around. I love the way this looks. I think it looks like a braid. But when you put it going back and forth, it is reversible. Both sides look identical, but it is very textured. It's also very thick. You can see it here because of the texturing. It's almost like waffle-like. So I like it. It's just so different from the other pattern. It's almost honeycombed. That would be the best description of it. So interesting how two stitches can look totally different depending on how they're put together. So now I'm going to insert the footage from Kim and I tonight, and that way you can see what she's been working on. Here's Kim. We haven't seen each other for like in person for a year or close to a year.
I know.
I know.
And well over a year that we've met in person.
Yeah.
We've done some Zoom knit nights, but we didn't stick to that.
We promised not to spit on each other, so we're good.
Anyway, we brought projects to do.
Of course.
And I've been working on one that some of you have probably already done a million times, but it's the Hermione's Everyday Socks. And I will show you the actual sock. I'm doing 2 at a time, but I'm on the heels now, so I switched to the double pointed needles for the heel. And this is the first one. And you can see the texture a lot better out in the
daylight. Yeah.
It doesn't look that distinct when I'm at home. And I finally did a Eye of Partridge heel. Which the pattern tells you how to do.
Let me zoom
I've never
this in
done
so
that,
we can
but
see
I really like that texture.
Oh, that is pretty.
Yeah. It's different. It's something different. It's not that ribby looking heel.
I like that.
So the yarn I use, let me get the ball band, is Ice Yarns. And I don't think they do names. It is, it's one of their sock yarns. And
I like Ice Yarn.
I don't even think it says, oh yeah, it's 75% superwash wool and 25% polyamide. So, it's called Solid Sock. So I've had it forever. I've got a bunch of ice sock yarns, and I said I need to use one to actually make a solid colored pair of socks. So that's what I did. And what I'm wearing is the basic t-shirt in crochet. That's what it's called. And it's kind of holey, so I've got a little tank top underneath. But it's by Katrina Designs. And she has a lot of cute crochet tops. And I'll do a little spin.
And what yarn did you use this one in?
It's, I don't have a ball band, but it's the Shape Yes.
Whichever, yeah. Thank you, Yoka.
Swirl yarn. So the swirl was all these colors in this order. I didn't break anything apart. So I love the way it graduates.
Yeah. Do you do it from the top down or the bottom up?
I think it was a top-down pattern. And the pattern itself, I mean, I don't know if I can show it on the video, but it actually looks more like a shorter t-shirt, but I wanted it to be longer and drapier, and I added what is the picot edging to it. I don't know if maybe you need to see it on my
there
black.
You can see it good.
Yeah. So I added that. In that I took some of the gray out of the ball, what was left, and did it all in the gray. So
I think it really adds to it. I really do. I think it adds to it.
Yeah, so I can wear this all different kinds of ways. So
yeah. And what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Americano coffee with a shot of sugar-free vanilla and some half and half. So doesn't taste like much other than coffee.
Ah.
Creamy coffee. Yeah, I've been doing, should I tell them what diet I've been doing?
Sure, if you want to.
So, I've been doing keto, and so I've had to learn to get away from all those yummy sweet creamers, and
But you've lost a lot of weight.
yeah, I've lost about 18 pounds so far.
Yay!
So,
Wonderful.
anyway.
So I am drinking, well, I've drank almost all of it.
It's almost gone.
This is, and it's not even frozen anymore. This is supposed to be frozen hot chocolate. It's
It looks
basically tastes like a chocolate milkshake for the most part. So we were at the cafe, but they weren't letting anybody eat inside, and sitting out on the street on a bench was entirely too noisy. So I'm not going to show you what I'm working on because, let's see, let me flip this up so I can see what I'm doing.
You want me to hold it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be great. And it just,
Now I get to be the...
yeah, there you go.
I hope I do
So,
do this
as long as you
right.
can see me, as long as you can see me, it's in there. So I'm not going to show you what I'm making because you've already seen it. I'm actually working on the crocheted Afghan, but I thought I'd tell you what I'm wearing. And this is the Chamisol by Lena Svagerson. And yes, I said it right for those of you who are laughing now, because I've made this shirt twice and it's taken me making it twice to be able to pronounce the poor woman's name. So yes, so anyway, I am wearing that, and it is also made with ice yarn and a knit crate yarn.
Okay.
So I put the two of them together, and it's a cotton, so it's really, really comfortable. So I really like this
And
pattern.
it looks even better in person.
And it's, I like it. It was very easy to do because you start at the neck and you just keep going all the way down and separate at the, you don't even really separate at the sleeves, sort of. You just kind of tie off your sleeves and then you keep on going. So
It looks very comfortable
easy
for
pattern.
warm weather.
yeah, and the same lady designs crochet and knitting patterns. So
Okay.
yeah, so we're waiting for the rain to hopefully not hit so we can
Yeah, I
visit
felt a
for
couple
little bit,
drops,
and
but I think it'll be all right.
yeah, we won't melt.
Right.
So okay, well, we're gonna sit and enjoy ourselves. I didn't realize we were that close to it. Is this a refill? Yeah. Well, that was cool. Kim and I thought about sitting on this, but then I was afraid I would tip the stagecoach upside down. So we decided that it probably did not have a big enough seat. So we sat on a picnic bench instead. Now that Kim and I have showed you our projects, it's time to look at what you all have been working on this week. I do have an acquisition this week. If you remember when I did the tutorial on Faroese shawls and the history of them, if you've missed that and want to check it out, you can click a link right here and that will take you to it. But I talked about a book by Myrna Stallman, and I told you I ordered the book. It came in. So let me show you this. That is what it looks like, and you can see the patterns here. And I do wish the pictures were in color, but it's like only the front cover is in color. After that, they're all in black and white. There is a shawl in here that is very similar. I mean, there's numerous, I forget how many. There's like 14 or 15 shawls, and there's like 40 scarves in here that are based on Faroese style patterns. Here is one that really gives you an idea of the shape of a Faroese shawl. It's almost wing shaped, like butterfly wings or bat wings. And so there are numerous patterns, and lots of different scarf, like neck scarf patterns, but they're unique the way they're put together. Let me see if I can find a picture that really shows you. There's also techniques in this book, as well as charts on how to knit these. Here is another couple of Faroese style shawls. There is one in here that is very, very similar. It's not exact, but it's very, very similar to the one that I made. Here's another Faroese style shawl. And there are patterns to all of these. And they all have, where there's a Faroese style shawl, there's a knitted scarf that actually matches the same as the Faroese shawl. So there are quite a few here, and this one is the one that is similar. It's the Katharina. And there you can see it. It's very similar in that it has kind of the arrow shapes to it. But yes, it is. There are so many. Here's some more. So many different patterns in this book. Now, I got this off of Amazon and I bought it used, but as you can see, this book is like brand new. So I paid, I think it was $2.90 something, I think. It was under $3. The shipping actually was more than the book. So altogether, shipping and book included, I paid between $5 and $6 for it. You can't beat that for that many patterns. And I was going to show you the scarves to show you the construction of them, because they are unique, the way they have constructed them as compared to how we construct them. And I'm looking for a picture because I know there is a picture in here somewhere. Here it is. It's a diagram. And if you look, it goes in and narrows in almost like a ribbing section in the middle, so that when it goes around your neck, it fits, but it's not bulky. So it's kind of helps it lay a little neater and easier. So I thought that was kind of unique. So, and these are considered Faroese fishermen's scarves. So, like I said, there's like 40 of the scarves, and I lost count. I did not sit down and count how many shawls there are, but I know there's a lot. There's a lot. So I definitely am getting my money's worth for that. And there is a link for that down in Amazon if you're interested in checking it out, in case there's some more. I do believe there was more used books available. So that is down there. Now, what am I reading? I finished my book, Shucked Open, which is by Barbara Ross. And that takes place in Maine, in Boothbay Harbor. They call it Busman's Harbor, but it's Boothbay Harbor. And so I finished that one, and I figured out who did it, I was listening to the book, so I figured it out about a half hour before the end of the book. So I didn't do as good this time. Usually I figured out about halfway through. I have my suspicions, but this was not somebody I expected. I was kind of surprised at the very end when I went, oh, I like those kind of books that keep you guessing until the very end. So I just finished that one, and so I'm now reading A Crime of a Different Stripe, which is by Sally Goldenbaum. It is a yarn-related cozy mystery. So it takes place in a fictional town that's near Gloucester, Massachusetts. And so it's a lot of fun. It's part of the Seaside Knitters Mystery series, and this is like book number 14. I've been reading them for years, and they're really good. So that is, I'm anxious to get into that. So that's called A Crime of a Different Stripe. And again, you can find the links down in the Amazon link. I put down like all the books that I read. So if you want to check out what I like to read, I have a reading list there that you can look at and look for yourself. Now our Come and Get It section this week is pretty much empty because there's been so many sales running. I'm filming this Thursday afternoon, and if you saw the little video I put up of sales, there was 4 sales running today. There was one from Lovecrafts Lion Brand Leisure Arts, which is they never usually have a sale. They were having 50% off of their patterns, the downloadable patterns. And the other was Annie's. Annie's had like a 25% in the site-wide sale. So really big sales on a Thursday, which is really weird. But anyway, hopefully some of you got to take advantage of some of those sales because they were pretty good. So anyway, at this point, I don't know of any sales that are going on because it's Thursday and those sales are still running, so they haven't brought the new ones out. So when I find out some sales, I will post them in my short little videos. Just watch for something that's yellow with black writing. That's kind of the clue that that is a yarn sale or pattern sale or something, some kind of fiber related sale going on. So if you haven't already, please click that little red subscribe button down below and the little bell-shaped icon next to it. If you click the little all that pops up, that will let you know anytime I post a video, which is Saturdays and Wednesdays, and then whenever these sales show up. So if you want to find out about the sales, just click that little button and you'll be notified. So Wednesday's video is going to be fun because it's a Knit Crate unboxing. I was really hoping it was going to come in time for today, and then I was going to take it to Coffee and Tea and Kim tonight, and the two of us were going to rip into those bags together and look at them and see what we got. I waited to film this until I saw the mailman come, and the Knit Crate is going to be delivered apparently tomorrow. It's delayed. So yeah, Kim and I will not be ripping into the Knit Crate bags together, which would have been so fun. We could have gotten a double review of the yarn. Two of us could have told you what we think of it. But as it is, yeah, it's not coming in until tomorrow. So that being said, Wednesday's video will be a Knit Crate unboxing for 2 different crates. And so make sure you stick with me to see that one. And that is it for this week. It's relatively short. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Unless there's a good sale coming along, then you'll see a video before then. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Bye. That was East Cavalry battlefield. Gettysburg itself is surrounded by battlefields, and as well as battlefields, there you can see a marker right there, as well as battlefields in the town itself. There was a battle. So yeah, lots of battlefields around Gettysburg. There's also a lot of field hospitals. A lot of the farms in the surrounding countryside were used for the field hospitals because there was over 50,000 wounded and dead from the battle, which lasted 3 days. So yeah, lots of wounded and dying soldiers, as well as I think 5,000 dead horses. And it took place in July, so you can imagine the smell after several days. Not very pleasant. And a little trivia fact here is the biggest field hospital ever on American soil was here in Gettysburg. It's now where a shopping mall is, but or a little strip mall, but Clara Barton from the Red Cross, she was the founder of the Red Cross. She actually was here at Gettysburg at it was called Camp Letterman. And like I said, it's now a shopping center. So I'm going to show you a couple of the, we're going to go past a couple of the, another battlefield and a couple of the field hospitals on our way to meet up with Kim. This building right here was one of the field hospitals, and our colonial spottapots, apparently they have an activity coming in. They have a lot of Boy Scouts and stuff that come here and camp. This time of the year they start gearing up for the reenactors and everything during the summertime. So those of us who live here kind of avoid a lot of the main roads because of all the tourists wandering around. And this farm here was also another field hospital. And there's a house there as well, but that was another hospital. We're in downtown Gettysburg now, and if I turned right here at the light, it would go down to the square, which has a big monument in the center. But we're turning to the left because we're going to 82 Cafe. But there's lots of little bed and breakfasts and some little mom and pop type of restaurants and snacky type of places and stuff like that around town. A lot of little boutique-y type of stores and things like that. Tourist traps, in other words. But they're fun to walk around in. I seem to be hitting all of the traffic lights tonight. But this is kind of cool because you can see this church over here is so neat looking. I think it's an Episcopal church. I'm not positive. But it's really neat. It has like a round tower thing. A couple of round towers. I'll hold it so you can see it as we go by. Mr. G's Ice Cream is here on the left, and to my right is the Farnsworth House, if you've heard people talk about that before. Both of them are well known here in Gettysburg. You can see there's lots of little boutique-y type of stores and things like that around here. And the Dobbin House, which is also a well-known place to eat, is right over here. Let's see if I can zoom this in so you can see this a little better. That rock building is the Dobbin House, and it's the oldest house, I think, in Gettysburg. It was built in the 1770s, I believe, and a reverend lived there who had, I think, 10 children, and he married a woman who had 9 children. Sort of like the movie Yours, Mine, and Ours. But anyway, you can't see a whole lot because they've got outdoor seating going on, so you can't see the building in all of its glory because it really is a pretty building. We are going in this building right here, which is right across the street, for coffee and tea. So we're going to wait for Kim, and we'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Right ahead of me, this is actually where that wall starts over there, that rock wall. That is the National Cemetery. And that is where a lot of the soldiers are buried. It's a really pretty place to walk through. It's also where Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. But yeah, it's a really pretty place. And like I said, my kids and I, every summer would go up here and have a picnic and walk through the graveyard over to one of the other roads. Just because it's a really pretty peaceful place. This is Benner's Hill that we are on right now, and these are some of the cannon That's the Army of Northern Virginia. And these were cannon battalions that were shooting down toward the town itself, toward the area where I just was, where I showed you Mr. G's and the Farnsworth house. That's kind of the area they're firing down towards. This area is known as Culp's, well, the next hill over is known as Culp's Hill, which is a really pretty place to drive through. But this is just like a little circular area. In the wintertime, you can actually see the town, which is just on the other side of those trees. And there's another cannon there. This is Northern Virginia, but it's actually a Maryland regiment that was fighting because the state of Maryland, which is the state just south of Pennsylvania, it was split between the Northern and the Southern troops during the Civil War. And here's kind of a pretty picture because you can see the cannon here, and then you can see the mountains over in the distance over there. So there's the cannon. And they are original cannons. They are Civil War era cannons that are in here.